What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. It's just another Manic Monday. What's up, T? You up early as usual? We were supposed to walk together, and we did not walk together, and I'm gonna tell you why. I did not walk this morning because I went on a walk yesterday morning, and yeah, they're doing construction in my neighborhood. One road was closed, now it's open. Now the other road is closed, and the new road that's closed is on my walking path. So I have to figure out like what my different, morning walk plan is. So yeah, I'm gonna hit you up tomorrow morning very early, T, so we can get together and go on this walk. If you're new here, T is my favorite gift, the best thing my sister ever could have given me. Yeah. And she's in Michigan, I'm in Florida, but we grocery shop together, we walk together. Sometimes we be over here live together. I'm gonna have to try to get her on another live. T, I ain't did Real Housewives of Atlanta in like the last 3 weeks. So tomorrow I'm gonna have a catch up little live. I think I'll just go ahead and go live tomorrow because there's so much to cover for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So yeah, if I can like convince you to come over, we could catch up on this thing together. You didn't walk this morning. Um, yeah, I didn't walk this morning either. I don't have an excuse. Um, so we're gonna hit this morning thought. We'll call it a morning wellness of sorts. You know what I'm saying? Kind of get your mind right. It's Monday. It's been a lot of negativity out there, and so I just want to kind of move away from that a little bit and look for something positive in each day, even if some days you have to look a little bit harder. I feel like that's the word right there. Even if some days you have to look a little bit harder, like this morning, started yesterday. So, yesterday evening, I'm talking about myself. Yesterday evening, my daughter comes in the room and she's like, "What's wrong with the water?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" So, the water pressure is very low. I'm like, I don't know. They're doing a lot of construction around here. So that would, sometimes the effects of water pressure, what have you. So now everybody's in the community page, like, what's going on with the water? Some people didn't have electricity. Some people had no water. We had water, but the pressure was very low. I feel like it wasn't even much of an inconvenience, to be honest, based on what other people were saying. But when the water situation got back on, the water company sent out messages to let us know that we have to boil our water for the next 2 days. So, from yesterday all the way to Tuesday, we're on a boil water, warning right now. So it made me think about like the people that are dealing with these AI data centers in their area. And I'm like I said, it's an inconvenience at the very most for me. I, ordered some bottled water and, we'll get through these next 2 days, because it was a water main break or whatever the situation is. Now they got to make sure the water's safe to drink. Anyway, maybe think about the people, obviously, at home in Flint, but also like the people with these data centers and what it's like for them to, be going in. I can still take a shower. They, brown water coming out of the faucets. I feel like when you're in a situation like that, for me, dealing with a minor inconvenience, I think it's so much easier for me to look for something positive instead of like focusing on my water's not brown. Like I said, there are people who are dealing with so much worse as far as the water is concerned. And I feel like as the data centers are going up, because they're going to go up. This clown, Elon Musk, just became a trillionaire. So the data centers are going to go up. And I said I was going to start positive. We're going to look for something positive in each day, even if, some days you have to look a little bit harder. So I don't know, donate water, do something, maybe. I don't even know that what's going on out there, but for whatever it is, little thing that you got going on with you, um, it's not that serious. When it's a little thing, it could be so much worse. And look a little harder. Look a little harder for the blessings you have, because I think a lot of us are more blessed. At least I was in a position to navigate, through the situation. So anyway, y'all, Good morning, everyone. It's just Rhonda. If I didn't say it before, welcome to Coffee Talk, where we talk about a little bit of Black excellence, a little bit of Black history, some current events, and a little bit of celebrity gossip. Whew, I got through all of that. You know, I come over here and for a while I was like, it's just a podcast. I don't need to go over there necessarily, but I feel like it's better if I'm here. It's a little more productive as far as I'm concerned, and I feel like I get to see y'all. I get to talk to y'all. I don't get to see y'all at all. That's what makes it a little weird, but y'all get to see me and we get to talk back and forth with each other. So we're gonna talk today. We're gonna get into some things. Obviously we can't avoid all of the things, but we can, go ahead and get into some of the things that are good. So I'm gonna start there. Let me get y'all up here and in the game. And then I'm going to go to my phone because y'all know why. Because, I can't see. Even with my glasses on. It's so sad. I remember when I used to be able to see. It hit me around 42. When I turned 40, I was like, y'all bugging. 40 is fabulous. And it was, but it wasn't fabulous for my eyesight. Not 42. By then, my eyesight started to like, oh, at least I can, at least I can see. See, that's how you turn it into a positive child. My eyesight ain't great, but at least I can see. So we're going to start here. Chicago Black teen Dr. Dorothy Jean Tillman earns a doctorate at 17 after starting college at just 10 years old. What is that like as a parent? You know what I mean? I am the parent of an exceptional child, in terms of being very smart. But to be a parent of a child who is college ready at 10 years old, the good Lord knew where to put her. Anyway, Dr. We gonna call her doctor because she earned her she earned her doctorate, Dr. Cheyenne. I bet you can find her dissertation even when she was 17 years old. We're gonna let Cheyenne go. Dr. Dorothy Jean Tillman entered college at 10 years old and never looked back. She earned her associate's degree, then her bachelor's, then her master's by age 17. She had her doctorate from Arizona State University. While most teenagers were worried about prom, she was changing her entire family's legacy. This is what Black girl genius looks like when the world gets out of the way. I love it when these young girls and boys, are entering into the field of medicine. It's so hard for us to navigate, I feel like, in this world. Um, you know what I mean? It's hard for us to navigate. What's going on? I'm looking at the screen. There we go. It's hard for us to navigate through this world just, to getting our kids from kindergarten to first grade. And then, when we're going through taking them to doctor's appointments and just all of us, and we always have this, kind of fear of getting the best care. So I love it when the kids are geared towards medicine. You said you can't help your child with fourth grade homework now. Yeah, but what you can do though is be in the position to help him, help him get to where he needs to be. We talk about parents in the household and parents who are not focused or paying attention to what their kids got going on in school. We go from these kids who can't even read and they about to graduate, and that's not okay. So that would never happen with your child. The fact that that you're in a position to go ahead and help him, connect him with a process that's going to take him to where he needs to be. And imagine if this young lady had been in a household with people who weren't paying attention. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like little smart kids walk around letting you know how smart and intelligent they are. It's not something that you have to like look for. They are very good at, letting you know how they're so far beyond your intellect. Here's another one. I love to hear. I would love to especially this little boy. I don't want to say especially, but This little boy is only 6 years old. Can you imagine what the conversations like this kid is having, with his parents, over dinner? This 6 year old's IQ is so high that the city of Monroe, Louisiana proclaimed August 27th, 2024 as Terrion Collins Jr. Day in his honor. While his exact score hasn't been disclosed, it was high enough to earn him a spot in Mensa, the top 2% of the population. I wonder why they're not saying what the score was. Um, I wonder why they're not saying. Is it because he's black? And then I hate to go here. Good morning, Miami Gardens now. Is it because he's black and they don't have to disclose the number because when some child comes along that's not black, they can say that this is, they're the smartest or whatever. I don't know. I feel like there's a reason why they're not disclosing the number, and it doesn't have as much to do with him. As it is us not knowing the truth about. We want to know where he ranked. I'm rambling on, but we want to know the number. Like, say the number. Shout out to him. Give him all his shit. Anyway, did he really far exceed? He's 6 years old. Woo, that's amazing. 6-year-old Terrion Collins Jr. accepted into Mensa for scoring in the top 2% on standardized cognitive testing. Began reading at the age 2, despite early nonverbal speech and hearing challenges. That's crazy. What a blessing. He was nonverbal probably because he knew that y'all didn't sound a fool out here. Y'all was not impressing this child. Anyway, in recognition of his achievements, the city of Monroe, Louisiana officially declared August 27, 2024 as Terrion Collins Jr.'s Day. He dreams of attending Harvard at age 13 and pursuing a career as an astronaut or an NFL player. I love that because at the end of all of his genius, he's still just a regular boy. He's like, I want to be an astronaut, or maybe play football. That's so cute. Look at him. He cheesing. Does he even know? Does he even know what that means? And in Louisiana, again, the southern states, it'd be the southern states, like I said, where, maybe it's because of the environment that they feel like they got to work harder to achieve. And then this is he's 6 years old. So this brain, astronaut, oh, child. I'm not going to knock it. Warrick Dunn in football news. Oh yeah, shout out to the New York Knicks. I didn't have a dog in the fight. It wasn't really a thing for me, but shout out to the New York Knicks. They took home the championship. I think it's been something like 50 some years since they've done it. So yeah, I know New York is off the chain. They was breaking shit and go to the game and get my automobile tore up because that sounds like a good time. Anyway, shout out to the Knicks, like I said. Ex-football player Warrick Dunn has quietly given 170 plus homes to single parents. That's so cool. When they get out of the NFL and they're, really standing on their community involvement. Warrick Dunn is an NFL veteran who spent 12 seasons with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, has donated 173 homes to single parents through his charity alongside Habitat for Humanity. All Access spoke to one of those parents, certified nursing assistant Latoya Reedy, who was able to trade her overcrowded living arrangement for a new house thanks to Warrick Dunn's kind deed. I'm so humble and gracious for this experience, for what they have done for my son and I. This is now my safe haven, she told Access. And so this is someone, just goes to show you, what do they say she does? She's a nursing assistant. It just goes to show you, she's out here. She's not like a cashier somewhere, not to put down cashiers, but she's out here a nursing assistant, really putting in the work to take care of her family. And a lot of places it's so expensive, or the requirements, you have enough money to pay the bills, but the requirements are 3 times the amount of rent. So then a lot of us have to go find people, roommate. I'm in the house with my daughter. So, hey, Motown investor, you firing up the treadmill. I'm just shout out to you, girl, because I just didn't get into it today. Not go Pistons. We talk about Warwick Dunn, child. Good. And the Pistons, yeah, go Pistons, but they did not win a championship. Yeah, shout out to Warwick Dunn. I like to hear these nice things. And I feel like when we talk about what are celebrities doing, like he's actually out here doing it. It seems like a small thing, but for 170 plus people, it was a big thing. So now this lady can raise her child or children in a nice home, nice environment, and be able to provide a healthy space. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's hardworking people deserve to get things. Shout out to Warwick Dunn. And speaking of housing market, this is of interest to me. I don't know. There may be some people out here, ready to make that change. I've been ready, but we won't get into that. This isn't about me. It says the U.S. housing market will face a price correction in 2027, far worse than 2008. I remember 2008, and they was giving people these houses, with these ridiculous interest rates and, balloon mortgages and all kinds of foolishness. And then they were able to get it qualified for things they couldn't afford. Then they all had to get out. And then there was this big push to turn apartment complexes into condos. So you feel like you own something when you don't. It's just still the apartment. So, yeah, anyway, the government is trying to stop the market from crashing. Foreclosures are spiking. Prices are higher than ever. And buyer demand is lower than ever. This creates the perfect opportunity to learn to stack cash without risking your own money. When the market corrects to buy a massive let me start that one over. Then when the market corrects to buy home at a massive discount, these kinds of events don't happen often. I'm sure as hell not missing out on this one. I mean, at least it's nice to know. You know what I'm saying? Because when the market crashed last time, a lot of people weren't prepared for it. I don't know that the opportunities are going to be the same as they were before, but I feel like last time a lot of people were able to acquire nice homes. So there's so many things to factor in, homeowners insurance and taxes and dear Lord, the HOA. We don't know. We don't know. A lot of things factor in, but it's a good time to get prepared if you can. The problem is it's hard to get prepared because people are struggling. So let's see. It'll give you a little insight. Before the price correction, a few things always happen. Home prices spike, buyers' demand collapse. We can see now that the median price has jumped from 221 to 410 in 10 years. That's double, pretty much, almost double. And the home sales are 30-year lows. I don't know. I feel like I looked at a property, an investment property, not for a home, and it was only 796 square feet, and it was trying to be, they sold it. I don't know how much they sold it for. I must still be nosy, but it was in the 230. It was on the market for 239,000, and I was like, back in the day, 200,000. What year did they say? 2008, around that time, 200,000 could get you a home. The same home is 400,000. Oh, ciao. When a price correction happens, the government always steps in to make the market look stable. That's why you're seeing 50-year mortgages, looser lending programs to keep owners in their homes. But even with all the help, the market eventually collapses. Yeah, because it started on a shaky foundation, child. Good morning, Jatoni. Okay, it says then when house prices drop, people who were living above their means can't refinance. That's what happened the last time when I said all those people, you were like, you bought a house? Yeah, how? I know how much money you're making, and I know you can't afford that, so I guess, they did it again. And all those people that relocated here from other places because it's warm down here more of the year. The big C has made people make, changes. Then they can work remotely and now they got to, go back inside. It's chaos. Um, it says, then when the house prices drop, people who were living above their means can't refinance, which leads to a huge spike in foreclosures. But as sad as it sounds, it creates a perfect opportunity to buy real estate at a discount. This is why you need to spend 2026 stacking cash. I agree. If you can, yeah, if you can. It says foreclosures are already up 20%. That's high. This happens when homeowners can't pay their mortgage and the bank sells their home at an auction. This tanks the owner's credit score and makes it hard for them to rent. That sucks. That really sucks. Unless they sell before the house hits the auctions. Yeah, I mean, you kind of put in a catch 22 and you can't do anything. I mean, you have to sell your house because if you don't sell your house and they foreclose on it, then your credit is, jacked up. Now you can't even rent someplace. Whew. Motown investor. My home is only 1,000 square feet. And I brought it cash 1950 fully renovated. You bought it 23,000. I mean, that's what happened when the market crashed. Is that when you bought your home? Because 23, I don't know that we're going to see those kind of numbers. And I remember that happening, and you would be like 18,000. What we'll see. Good morning to go to Africa. You said 200,000 here will get you a 4-bedroom. 200,000 here will get you a 736 square foot home that you got to go in and spend another probably 30 to 50 to, get it livable. Like I said, this was an investment property, but still it's in an area where the houses are all, it's a downtown. You know how they have houses in commercial areas in the downtown area. I hate though that like all of these corporations are buying up the houses just so I feel like they're the ones a lot of the times that get to take advantage of these types of benefits. Okay, so here's a little bit of information for anybody that's thinking about it. Step one, find a home in foreclosure. You can find them on these websites: xhome.com, hubzoo.com, auction.com, realitybid.com. That's good to know. So if you're looking for a situation that's a foreclosure, then and I didn't think of that, then you could go to these websites and they have it already broken down for you. Find property value. Go to Zillow and type the address of each property. Look at the similar homes in the area and note what the updated ones sell for on average. This gives you a ballpark price for your offer. That's another thing, like, playing that game of what to put down on the table, especially for somebody who's never done it before. This little bit of knowledge will help you go, move forward. Call homeowners. Go to the truepeoplesearch.com and plug in the home address and get their name and phone number. Then offer to buy the home for 60% of the average Zillow sale price. You don't have to offer full price because almost every property needs repairs once you agree on the price. Step 3, sign a purchase agreement. Ask ChatGPT. I don't ask ChatGPT things. I don't need them for that. Ask Chat GPT to write a purchase agreement for your stay and purchase price. This puts you in an inspection period and gives you an option to buy the house within 21 days. And I mean, there's more information on like how to flip the property. At the end, they're going to ask you probably to buy their guide or whatever. But I felt like this was like good information to have for people like right now where you're in this place where I know I am. I don't want to sign a lease. I kind of don't want to sign a lease on a new place, but it says 2027. So that gives me, the rest of this year to prepare for what's to come. Let me see. You say, I was looking for a home in the market crash, found a lot between 20 to 50,000. Um, the companies are buying those foreclosed homes in bulk, making it impossible for people to get their homes back. Yeah, and I feel like if you at least have this information, because that's what's the scary part is the plan is for all these corporations to buy up the homes and and then jack up the taxes for people who already own their homes so that everybody's at the will of corporations. That's the long-term plan. We the people sit down and drive around in our Teslas while this nigga Elon Musk becomes a trillionaire, and he's not even from here. As much as y'all like to bring up where people are from, and I feel like I heard them somewhere where been a mass approval of a bunch of white South Africans. Chicago, come to the front. I told y'all I needed to take a break from social media because I knew this was going to be a thing, and it's a thing, child. So this is what happened in Chicago.
Spotted in Grant Park. A mother and daughter driving by captured this video earlier this afternoon. They tell us tonight they could not believe their eyes.
Seeing that in 2026 in Chicago was just, we were really taken aback.
The burning cross is widely considered to be a symbol of racist hatred. Police say they are investigating the circumstances surrounding this incident. Chicago police are investigating a burning cross.
Well, here he is. That he's not been caught, but here he is running through the Chicago streets, with a backpack on and no shirt. So I guess, this is surveillance of him leaving the scene of the crime, allegedly, I guess. Chicago police are asking for the public's help identifying a person sought in connection with the cross burning discovered in Grant Park on Tuesday. Authorities released a photo of the individual as investigators continue working to determine the circumstances surrounding the incident. The FBI confirmed it's assisting in, that should make you all feel better. The FBI is involved, so yay. The FBI confirmed it's assisting in the investigation and assessing potential violations of federal law alongside local law enforcement partners. Do you think releasing the suspect photo helps investigators solve this case faster? Ain't nobody trying to solve this case. Even if he did it, I don't feel like, I would be very surprised if we hear anything more about the cross burning in whatever banks in Chicago Park, Grant Park. This is the thing. Like, this is so unnecessary. This is so unnecessary. Because at the end of the day, an Asian store owner pow-powed a black child and y'all are mad, which makes no sense because he got away with it. So what are you angry about? What are you doing with a burning a cross? It's so lame. I don't even know. Outrage isn't even, it's not my emotion. It's more like stupidity. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm sorry. That's how I feel about it. I don't nothing happened in terms of nobody got hurt. At the end of the day, if they find this dude, it should be because, it should be because he endangered the public by setting shit on fire. I don't know. Would that be considered arson? It's just so unnecessary, and it puts people in this weird emotion. It's funny because I went to the store the other day, and I was gonna I was gonna get my allergy medicine. So there's this Asian couple, older couple, sitting there looking at the boxes, I guess trying to figure out which one he should decide to take. And I said, "Excuse me." I grabbed my box. He looks at me. He was like, "Is that a good one?" So now we're sitting here having a conversation about my experience with the allergy medicine. And so it was just like a pleasant exchange between, people shopping at the same store. And so I walked away, and I mean, I'm not ashamed of myself. I just think it's just an effect of everything that's going on. I was like, there was nothing wrong about that exchange that just happened, but I was kind of like, now they're gonna be extra nice. And I'm like, I hate that I even think that way. And they probably like felt some type of way either. And we don't need to walk around. You know what I mean? Let's let the anger stay with this child nigga. And whoever is out here, not being decent to people that come in their business. But I was like, I hate that we even gotta feel like that, because and I'm putting on me, but and I'm, I guess, intelligent enough emotionally to know that that's not how, you don't behave a certain way. I just hate that feeling came up, because had this not been a story like, that we just been fed on the internet, myself included. And I mean, we've talked about it. It's just, like I said, the climate of what we got going on. Would I be feeling that way? Or would that just have been a normal day in the life? You said, so my brother-in-law, who can pass for white, is hired as a contractor to repair a huge cross for the Klan in Upper Michigan. I feel like that's how it's got to be done. Like, we can't fight the fight. We are a minority. That's for a reason. And so we can fight the fight. However, we can't win without allies. So, yeah, shout out to the white passing allies. Hi, Elsid. Elsid's in the bushes. Elsid, you changed my whole playlist. When I was up there, y'all, you have to go. You know what it reminds me of? Reminds me of, I can name that tune in 5 notes. Except it's not tune. Elsid be over there trying to like flim-flam us because she reads the lyrics of songs, but not in the way, the melody of the song. You know what I'm saying? So we be over there trying to like see what song she's talking about based on, or what the song is, or who the artist is based on, the lyrics that she's reading in her very Elsid way. And so, she give you a little 1-2 afterwards, after we know what the song is. But while she's like reading the lyrics, we don't know what song it is till we figure it out, child. And Elsid, I just want you to know that I'm under the influence of Ja Rule. I put Ja Rule on my playlist because I was like, now Ja Rule will have me walking, and getting my swing on. And so, yeah, he's on my Pandora, list. She says like, share, and subscribe. So, yeah, y'all check out Elsid 932. I think it's on Fridays. We get over there and we name that tune. It's fun to go to Africa, be knowing all the songs. Yes, Ja Rule, to everybody that be giving it up. Hey, whew. I need something that's gonna put me in a good mood. And as much as like, just real quick, are you a Nelly or are you a Ja Rule? I know what you are, T. I'm a Ja Rule. I'm not a Nelly. Whew. The 90s is going through it, y'all. And so I have to hold on to what I can hold on to. That was not anything part of what we were talking about. We were talking about this situation over here with the man. I guess, y'all, I don't feel no ways about it. This is Chicago. So Chicago, handle it. We got enough going on. Remember this lady? We met her last week.
Fucking people.
Hey, Momo, for real? Why'd you delete your Instagram and your TikTok after I made this video about you? Because you fooled us all by saying that your name was
Monica. Mo for short on the internet.
But it's not really Monica, is it? Because if you remember from a couple of years ago, you and your husband in 2024 filed for bankruptcy. Where from this very public document, we can see your names. And since I'm going to assume that your name isn't Ryan Amodeo, your name would be Owen Singuan. And Owen, not only do I find it hilarious that multiple people have confirmed that your hick-ass accent is fake as fuck, but I know somebody who didn't get in trouble for stealing money from tenants in an apartment building and got in trouble for grand theft isn't out here insinuating that black people are criminals when you're the one out here victimizing other people. Well, I guess if I had that type of hypocritical skeletons in my closet, I guess I would also have me and my spouse delete all of our social media presence and go into hiding as well. Not to mention, if you and your husband moved to Texas like this person claims, and then you and your husband voted in California like you claimed in this video, then the only ones who committed voter fraud would be you two.
You fucking black fucking people.
Hey, Momo for real.
Not Momo. Yeah, they will get on the internet and make a fool of themselves every single time. Every time. But, you know, I'm going to go ahead and give Momo credit for bringing the word niggerism to my life because I've been using it quite a lot. Anyway, I also appreciate the Asian community that has come out and called out this situation. This is how you handle your own. This is how you mend the energy, I feel like, because I've seen a lot of them. I've seen a lot of people come out and speak, on behalf of the folks that, see what's going on, know what's going on, realize racism is working against both communities. So, yeah, shout out to him. Shout out to Momo down here being a hood rat. Being a hood rat. Imagine that. A hood rat with something to say on the internet. That's what they do. That's what they do. She came over here with all the energy. Now you're hiding. And now the people is looking for you. Girl. Was that you down in Chicago? Was those your people? Girl. This story right here is wild. This story is friggin' wild. Let me see. As previously reported, I don't know if y'all have heard about the lady who was over here bungee jumping off of the side of a mountain or whatever that was, cliff. It says, as previously reported, Brazilian authorities have arrested 6 people following the death of 21-year-old Maria. I knew this was going to be a problem. Maria Eduarda Rodriguez de Freitas. Why does she need so many names? Who was killed during a bungee jumping activity at Skeleton Bridge in Sao Paulo. See, you don't jump off of anything called Skeleton Bridge. I'm not trying to make light of what happens, but I feel like I have a little child. If you want to take your time and out your vacation or whatever you was doing over there and go jump off a bungee and let me finish. According to reports, all 6 individuals connected to the operation were detained. Brazilian police say 3 of them have been formally investigated for homicide with implied malice, a charge used when someone is believed to have knowingly created a deadly risk. Wow. Authorities also revealed that 2 suspects reportedly attempted to flee through a wooded area before being captured with assistance from a police helicopter. Maria, a physical education and sports management student, had reportedly shared local media posts before the jump showing her excitement about the experience. Her fiancé was reportedly present and rushed to the scene after the fall. Emergency responders, including rescue helicopter, responded, but she was pronounced dead at the scene. The investigation remains ongoing. We'll look at this and then talk about it.
Ai, meu Deus do céu!
She ain't connected to nothing. The rope is that's wild. They chunked her off. When have you ever seen Bungie done like that? I mean, I'm here to say that Brazil is absolutely not on the list of places to relocate to. I'm sorry, y'all. Sao Paulo that's supposed to be the place, the where you do touristy things. Listen, I don't know why people like to do these types of things. And so I have kind of a hard time feeling like I hate that this happened to the lady, but you let some strange niggas chunk you off the side of a building, not attached to anything. She didn't notice, like, was there some type of procedure? Usually, like, first of all, like I said, I ain't never seen two people just walk somebody off of a plank and chunk them over. They usually like checking harnesses and things. If I go to Disney World and I get in a ride, somebody comes over and, they check, make sure the seatbelt thing is on their ride and the bars is down the way they're supposed to. Like, there's like precautions that people go through in order to make sure they're secure. She didn't secure. That just look like a rope. Does it even look like a bungee? That don't look like no bungee. That looks like a rope. Nobody noticed, or she didn't notice. Like, if I'm getting ready to go bungee, which I would never do because I just can't imagine why I would want to do that. If I'm gonna go bungee, I want to like see where they clicking me and making sure and pulling and tugging on all the things that I'm supposed to be attached to. The bungee is an important part. You just gonna. I mean, I don't want to say she let them, but she trusted them. And this does nothing about this looks trustworthy. I'm sorry. Nothing about this looks trustworthy. I've seen bungee done, like I said, and off of bridges and all kinds of things, off of buildings. And I don't get it. I don't understand. Didn't they do that? Didn't Ashley go over there and bungee off a building or some nonsense on Potomac one season? She crawled up there. Maybe she crawled up the building. I don't remember if she crawled up or if she fell down. I'm not bungeeing off shit. Not going to do it. I don't understand what the thrill is. So I'm not going to say nothing crazy. I'm a lot of stuff going through my mind right now, but I'm going to be sensitive to the fact. So these guys are arrested and I'm guessing they should be. I'm not. The thing is called Skeleton Bridge. Sometimes you get what you ask for. And so, there you go. There you have it. I don't know what else to say about that. Melania. Remember when Teresa Giudice used to run around her house talking about Melania? Melania always been a firecracker. So, she got arrested. The what do you call it? The mug shots adding up over here in this Giudice, however you say their name, household. Teresa Giudice's daughter, Melania Giudice, is reportedly facing assault charges following an arrest in New Jersey, according to a report published by the U.S. Sun. The outlet reports that Melania, 20, was arrested on May 14th and charged with simple assault. Why it took them a minute to get to the news. They kept that one under wraps for a minute. May 14th. Charged with simple assault and purposely knowingly causing bodily injury in a case that has reportedly been classified as a domestic violence matter. At this time, details surrounding the alleged incident remain unclear. The alleged victim has not been publicly identified and additional court documents have not yet been released. Word on the street is the person is her mama's new husband. Now, they're allegedly. I said on the street. I didn't say that. That's what the street said. And you can go to the streets yourself in the Googler and it will say, because that's where I got it from. The Google said some of the housewives is over there asking, is it Louie? Is that who she beat up? So the Reality Rundown has reached out to Teresa Giudice's representatives for comment and will update the story if a response is received. As of a publication, neither Melania Giudice nor Teresa Giudice has publicly addressed the allegations. Well, like I said, it's been a month ago. But yeah, allegedly, the turn up happened over at the house. What'd you say? I said people said they yelled about no rope. So the people was over there saying no rope, and they threw her over the thing anyway. Only Euro folks think risking their lives is fun. I guess she was Euro Francitas, something Brazilian. Based on her name, I feel like she's probably Brazilian. Man, that's wild. You won't be chunking me over no mountain. And if you have, plans for something bad, just know I'm going to hold on for dear life. So if I'm going, we both going. Yeah, little Melania was over there a lot of the times doing the most. Now she's 20, and they said I guess, like they didn't say that, but if it's Teresa's husband, the thing that stood out to me was purposely and knowingly causing bodily injury. What does she do? Like, girl, give us the deets. Give us the deets. Go ahead, put it on a Patreon or somewhere, and it'll get out here. We'll find out the details. Oh, Wendy. I don't know. This makes me sad. I mean, this is what I hate about this situation. I'm sure, as most of us do, is that why can't she just be with her family? The fact that outside people are in control of, nobody needs to be locked up. Like, she could be in Florida, with her father down there, with caregivers and things. Why does she need to be locked up? It's just something so not right about it. Wendy Williams says she can't even use the elevator as she details life inside a locked $25,000 facility. What am I to do? Like, I don't feel like she could be under care. Like I said, not locked in an elevator. If she's lucid enough to tell the story, to say what it is, then I feel like she's lucid enough to have a little more freedom. I don't know what the state of her mind is. I know it was a little off. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to act like Wendy wasn't walking around here giving a little offness. But we don't know, like, what she was under the influence of. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean like her regular, characters that she over here indulging in. I mean, what are these people putting, Anyway. Wendy Williams is speaking candidly about life under guardianship as she pushes back against questions surrounding her health and independence. In a new conversation with the New York Post, the former talk show host addressed the medical terms tied to her condition. Wendy said, "You hear the words aphasia and dementia." She then added, "What am I to do?" Right, because if the people are saying, these are mental, what do you call it? It's not mental health, but it's definitely I can't get get the word in my head. Decreasing. Yeah, the decreasing of your mentality. You said Latin folk and other folk, including copy Euros, do brainwashing. Jatoni, the lady just got chunked over a building. I mean, I feel like thrill seekers are a little bit crazy. That's all I have to say about that. All thrill seeking. I side-eye roller coasters. Like, the way I see these people flying off of rides and things, I'm good. Cognitive issues. Yes, thank you, Elsie, because my brain just broke down. But, when people start saying things like dementia and what's the other one? Because they're different. My brain is on freeze. This this morning. You know, when people start forgetting who their family members are. There's dementia and there's another one. I've dealt with dementia. It's difficult to deal with. And I don't see that necessarily in Wendy, but I'm not around her all the time because people with dementia can act completely normal in one moment. Alzheimer's, whew, thank you, T, because you know that was in the back of my mind. Alzheimer's is different. Dementia, you know, people can act complete normal and then, you know, in other moments completely lost. So, and it becomes increasingly more, you know, the opposite. There's less of the more normal phases and more of the very off crazy phases. With Alzheimer's, they forget who their people are altogether. Careful, Rhonda. You too forgetful today? I mean, I don't think it's easy, either one of those things. You know, my mind is very full of other things outside of what's going on here. So yeah, we're going to charge it to what's going on in my life personally. It's got me, you know, kerfuffled. Anyway, ciao. It says Williams 61 described living in what she says is a locked memory care unit, saying, I've by now rested my case. It's $25,000 a month here. There's grass, trees, 2 floors, no cars around. Can't even do the elevator to go down. Wow. But you know how, like, and I'm not saying this is her, but it sounds like, you know, a nursing home where they're worried that the people are going to escape, because they definitely tried doing that. She said, I once was a connoisseur of food, and now sometimes I'll have meals in my room and I don't drink. Man, this sucks. It's terrible. She continued, I'm 61 and mine is a locked floor, and there's also in and out hospital. They're also in and out hospital. I don't know what that means unless they got her, like, there's a little hospital on the floor. Despite the restrictions, Wendy says she still attends church weekly. There's always security with me. Look, I go to church every Sunday. It's the Christian Culture Center, 10 a.m. I go with the personal aid. Does she even go to church before? I ain't never heard Wendy say nothing about church. Williams also reflected on her former TV life and fashion, saying, I understand. I did a daily TV show 14 years. This watching over me also deals with dresses. I was tall, looking gorgeous. Now all my stuff's in storage. The way she's talking sounds a little scattered, if you ask me, because they're quoting. This is a quote from her. I'm just not going to have some guy follow me into storage. This means, what am I going to wear? Those days we wore long, so I cut the stuff down. I've now turned skirts into shorts. Yeah, that's a direct quote, and that sounds like, you know, that's not me. Even though I've been scattered this morning, I read that directly the way it is. She needs mental stimulation to confine. Good morning, Pack. That might be what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that I don't think like she's well enough to go back to Wendy that we knew. Something's clearly going on, but you're right. I feel like her being stuck in this space where there's nothing. She just looking out of a window, and you know what I'm saying? It is. She does need mental stimulation, and she would have that if she was around her family. You know what I'm saying? When you have the kids running around, all of that stuff keeps you younger. She should get her redeemed hoodlums. Joe Tony. No, that's not what she needs. She does not need a redeemed hoodlum. She needs to be relocated to Palm Beach with her family and her sister and her father and a caregiver. You know what I'm saying? People do with Alzheimer's. With people with Alzheimer's do wander off. And when my mother had dementia, she never not never, but there were times when she didn't recognize where she was. I think that's like a similarity between the two. She was not able to wander off anywhere because of her physical state, but you know, I don't know if she would have. So Yeah, that statement that she made was very kind of scattered. She just rambling, it sounds like. She added, "What do I do? What I do is keep things in my notebook. They say it's dementia and aphasia." She might need to write it down, and who knows what medication they're giving her too. For now, Wendy said, "Best I can do is Monday and Friday and go to the gym. Let me tell you something else. And that's that. I don't know exactly how, what, why, but I've gone through a lot of shit." Yeah, she's very rambly. But again, like, if they know she's going to do an interview with someone, is she under some type of medication that's going to make her seem off? Like, I just don't trust it. They could give her medication that's going to make her, her state worse than what it normally is. I don't know. I'm just, in my mind speculating. Like Pac said, she's not getting any type of mental stimulation. She's only 61 years old. I don't know. I think Wendy would probably, and I hate to say it, but I think Wendy would probably leave this world in this situation that she's in. I don't see, at this point, like, what are we spending her money on? They know what they got. And $25,000 a month, she's not generating any more income that I know of. Whew. Sucks. It sucks. It sucks. So this lady mad. Tyra Banks is mad. She's suing Netflix. Tyra Banks sues Netflix, claims America's Next Top Model doc used 16 minutes of her interview to push a defamatory narrative. Did it? I mean, I guess it did to some extent, but I feel like we're also judging her based on the things she said. You know what I'm saying?
I cried myself to sleep that night. They were there from the beginning. Best friend in the bed, coming up with photo shoots. Backstage at fashion shows, hanging, laying on them. Some of the closest people to me in my life. And me and Ken have to deliver that news that the deal is up, that it is over. You can imagine what that feels like. But bosses have bosses. And the big boss was very clear. There are no sacred cows. And I heard that meaning you too, Tyra. So pick up the phone and do what I'm telling you to do. And the thing is, I don't believe that they knew that it came from above. No matter how much Ken and I were explaining this was not our decision, I cried myself to sleep that night.
She's so dramatic. She's so dramatic. Anyway, Tyra Banks is taking legal action against Netflix, claiming the streamer unfairly shaped her appearance in its America's Next Top Model docuseries. On Saturday, June 13th, Banks filed a defamation lawsuit over her portrayal in the reality check Inside America's Next Top Model, alleging producers used only 16 minutes of her 3.5-hour interview to support a false and defamatory narrative. According to the lawsuit, Banks agreed to participate because she believed viewers deserved a candid conversation about the show's legacy, its success, and its shortcomings. The lawsuit claims Netflix edited out major moments where Banks accepted accountability for controversial parts of ANTM. Instead, she alleges the series suggested she knowingly allowed contestant to be sexually essayed, exploited the trauma for ratings, and then could not remember the situation. Girl. Banks also denied claims surrounding Miss J. Alexander, who suffered a stroke in 2022. The lawsuit says she was not given a chance to explain that she had been living in Australia and had tried reaching him multiple times. They don't have phones in Australia, girl. Banks is seeking damages for alleged lost business opportunities, loss of income, and significant mental anguish. She is also requesting a jury trial. Wow. Wow, Tyra. What y'all think? Y'all think she deserves a whole jury trial behind all of that? I think not. I don't think everything was based on her part of the interview. Like things, the point of view of the models, the people that went through the experience, and it's not just on Netflix. It's on several other documentaries. Like they've been going at Tyra for the foolishness for a very long time. So this wasn't a breakdown of her reputation overnight. I think it's been going on for a minute. She want a jury trial, girl. And I'm like, these people felt a way about Tyra before this documentary. The documentary just spotlighted it, and then, you know, TikTok took over and all of that. Her, she was rough on the models. Yeah, she was. And even like her saying, I tried to call him, I was in Australia. Please don't act like she can't make a phone call from Australia. And then there's other, I feel like both of the Jays and Nigel were complacent in the situation. So I'm side-eyeing all of them, not just her. I feel like she took most of the brunt of the backlash because, you know, it's her show. But I think all three of them, the photographer, the judges, all of them can take responsibility for their part. Like that's the one thing I didn't agree on with the documentary is I was like, it wasn't just Tyra. It was all of y'all. All of y'all sat around and, you know, came up with ideas and then put those girls through hell. All of you. But some of the things they were doing in terms of locking them in, they couldn't go nowhere. You know, it was like top model prison. Not feeding them, you know, trying to create these certain scenarios for the sake of TV. Good morning, High Vibe. But her suing them and she wants a jury trial. What is wrong with her? What lost opportunities did you get? You was over there in Australia. You can't get a job in Australia. I think Tyra is full of it. I think I went back when this was going on and I watched her clips from her talk show. And the way she used her platform to embarrass Corinne Steffens and blame her for things, I mean, it was really wild. If you get a chance, like if you're bored and you go look at old clips of her talk show, not this, her character was the same. Like Tyra is, you know, she's a little bit cuckoo could do. So I don't know, you know, if she got a good legal team, she might be able to get something. Everybody coming for Netflix. You know, if she wrong, she wrong. But I feel like people went over there with already a preconceived idea of what we felt about Tyra and how, you know, we looked at her now versus back then. And it's mostly because we didn't know any better, I guess, back then. And then when you see it, and we didn't know what was going on behind the scenes. We just saw her, you know, teaching people how to smize and things. We did not know, like, the torture that the girls were going through for the sake of. And then none of them even really came out with careers on the other side besides Eva. And a couple of them did. And then, you know, there's those girls that didn't experience any of that. They're like, that wasn't my experience. Maybe not. I think both things can be true. Okay. Speaking of cuckoo cuckoo, did y'all see this over the weekend? This lady here.
Let's play. Show up in Atlanta tomorrow if you want to. You clone my phone, you know where I live now? Show up in Atlanta if you want to. That's the type of time I'm on. That's the type of time this will be on every blog before I catch my plane in 3 hours. That's the type of time I'm on. I've been keeping my mouth shut because you got little kids. I got kids. I got grandkids, and I'm somebody's mother. But your daughter's a little hoe. You trained her the right way. 17 years old, came in the house and tried to sleep with my husband. You put witchcraft on me. Yeah, I never loved that man. My sister sent him into me. She a witch and she sing in church every Sunday. She sent him into me and then played on y'all top and played on mine, saying that I was kidnapping him while she was paying him. He was a handler. I don't put my business in the street. This is a testimony. I'm not playing. You want to play? Show up in the city of Atlanta. You're going to have a problem tomorrow. My gun is registered.
Is that a threat? Are you allowed to say that? She's walking around her house, talking in her phone, really feeling emotional about someone the street said is her sister. So this is a message to her sister, Kelly Price. Kelly Price out here wilding. Can she do that? She says somebody can come to Atlanta, and if they do, they're going to have problems. And then her gun is registered. If it was veiled, but it was a threat. And a long stare. Whoa.
God kicking that behind. You ain't got but so long to live. When's your last doctor's appointment? Selling stuff in hotels. You started OnlyFans in my name. This been going on for 3 years. Dating accounts. I want this on every blog in the morning. Show up in Atlanta. Security in my building called me tonight after my concert and told me that I just called them. Show up in Atlanta. That's my city. Try it, and I could come to your city, but let's play. Show up in Atlanta tomorrow.
I feel like Kelly Price needs a room over there in that building where Wendy lives. I don't know what is wrong with this lady. What happened to no weapon formed against me shall prosper? Is that what she said? Because that ain't what she's saying now. She said she on click. She's locked and loaded. Come to Atlanta. See what happened. That's what she said. I'm like, this lady has so much emotion in the phone talking to who? Us? We did not call for this. Kelly need to go see the lady. She does. I said, Kelly needs a room over there, not on Wendy's floor. There must be another lockdown floor. You know what I'm saying? But Kelly needs some type of help. And it's wild because remember her on R&B Divas? Listen, Todd, Carlos, since Todd and Candy are no longer a thing, Carlos, can y'all go back over there and make us another version? The Todd and Carlos, I like the combination. They had R&B Divas. They had the what was the show with the girls? Encore, where the girls make the band again. Kelly Price and what's the other one? Nikki Hilton. I mean, what's her name? Nikki Gilbert. Kelly Price, Nikki Gilbert, Angie Stone, all on a show together. And what's her name from Escape? Ooh, Todd, Carlos. That's the interview. We want Carlos and Todd to sit down and tell us about the behind the scenes behavior over there on that show. Because that Kelly Price is, it's scary in a way. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at her from the internet talking crazy, but she's navigating through life like this for real. It's a little bit scary. What'd you say? She should have never done R&B Divas. We found out she was a nutty buddy. We was going to find out anyway, look like, because she was going to come over here and do this. And this is something that she always does. You know what I'm saying? She always over here, I don't know, fussing in her phone. She said, come over here if you want to. Her weapon is registered. And then she stared into the camera like she's looking at the person she's talking to. She also said, but you sent your 17-year-old daughter over here to seduce my husband. It's just a lot. Like, I feel like I'm a party. Have you ever like seen somebody start going off on someone and you're there and you're like, I feel like I shouldn't be here. I feel like this conversation should be happening like in private. That's what Kelly Price is giving. I don't know. She over here on the internet, a million people have seen her do it. So maybe it worked in her favor. I don't know. Is she getting a TikTok check? Why not call your sister? Well, that's what I would have done, but we're working from a mind of, just regular people that don't necessarily need to see the lady like that. Anyway, what would you do? What would you do if you went into a gas station?
Come in the gas station, all right? Boom, shorty sleep. She sleep. So I come in here, boom. I want to do 6. I put 40 on pump 6 out there on the bins, right? And then I took 40 out of my pocket. The register popped open, threw the 40 in there. Made sure the camera seen, I put the 40 in there. Hit authorize. Make sure I get my gas. Shorty in here really sleep though. She's tripping. You getting fired tomorrow, shorty. On everything I love, you is getting fired tomorrow. Come in the gas station, all right?
Everything
Boom,
I
shorty
love.
sleep.
Well, clearly he's worked at a gas station before, because I wouldn't have known what buttons to push. But I do know it's very inconvenient. I guess he could have tapped her on the shoulder. He could have tapped her on the shoulder and say, "Get up. Do you be at your job tired, that kind of tired?" She tired. Poor thing. I don't know. Do I feel sorry for her? I'm not going to say the lady's on drugs. I'm going to say she's very tired. It looks like she's working like the late shift or something. I don't know what happened during her day, but she might have been sitting here for a very long time before somebody came in that door and she didn't hear the doorbell. Oh, goodness. What is the first comment? Honestly, integrity is all good, but is anyone impressed by how he knew the program? I feel like he used to work at a gas station somewhere. Like, I feel like most of us could not go in there and set ourselves up for gas. It is very inconvenient, though, to have to go to another gas station. So you said you went ziplining 8 times in the Yukon jungle for your 60th birthday. I had nightmares for a year, but my daughter paid for it, and I had to do it. I'm going to go out here and say, I feel like ziplining is something I would do only in my head. Only in my head. I feel like I think it seems cool enough, but at least then, like, you can't check the zip line, but I don't know. I feel like your odds are much better when you're attached to the line in a proper way rather than having somebody like chunk you over a mountain with nothing attached. So how do you forget that part? How do you forget the part where you tie the person to the rope? I'm just saying. Whew. You said fired. He's an a-hole. Kind of. But she was knocked out. She was knocked out. She better be glad he didn't come in that store and take everything from behind that counter. That means she could be working multiple jobs. That's what I said. I have seen people, I've seen video of people that are clearly under the influence where they standing at the cash register like nodding out because, they had a little bit too much meth. But she just looked like she's sitting down and she fell a damn asleep. And I have, as somebody, not at my job, but as somebody who has fallen to damn sleep really hard like that, I remember taking my mother to a doctor's appointment. And, I was in a lobby, mouth wide open, snoring. I woke myself up snoring. And the people was looking at me, and I was like, don't care. I don't know you people. I'm going to go ahead and get a lady a break. And, I guess, shout out to the young man for not stealing. Everybody wins. He gets his gas. But, don't get her fired. Now you've got this on the damn internet. You say R&B Divas was your show. That was my show, too. I would love to have, and Encore was good too. I feel like Carlos and Todd are a good combination. I hope they find their way back, especially for reality TV. You know what I'm saying? So they could get it on OWN or whatever. Have y'all been watching Houston or whatever the name, Heart of Houston? I watched last season. It looked, the clips look so juicy. I'm not going to review it, but I want to go watch it. What if she needs medical attention? This lady could be having a whole heart attack and he over here keying in, putting his money in the cash register. Folks will do anything for a TikTok. My first instinct would have been to touch that lady, say, "Hey, Becky, wake up." You know what I'm saying? Trying to pay for this gas. You know, these is a different generation. The first thing they do is go pull the camera out. This is one of many downsides of social media. It is. It is. And I mean, she could be, obviously she working at the damn convenience store, so she's not making any money. She could be in the position where she can lose her job, then her home. You know what I'm saying? He think it's funny. He thinks it's funny, but you know, I feel like he could have just woke that lady up. He could have just tapped her on her shoulder and told her to wake up. We be doing the most out here trying to go viral. Let's see. Okay, this is the little boy I was telling y'all about that he went to give his 8th grade speech. These kids is not playing with y'all down to the schoolhouse. Now, I don't know what's going on with you people and these children, but you need to do better by the kids. And I'm going to be on the kids' side. Minus the twerking girl, like she wanted to go over there and like bounce her booty up, and it cost her a scholarship. So, you know, now we even. So I'm, you know, done being mad with her. But these kids right here that are coming up to the podium and snapping on the administration because they won't do nothing about bullying and things within the school system. So let him let you have it.
I was not expecting this. This child named Daniel was graduating 8th grade, and he was selected to give an 8th grade speech for his school. And just watch this.
My name is Daniel Mattingly, and apparently this school doesn't know better than to give an angry gay kid a microphone. No shade at all, but I came to the graduation planning to give a speech about my trauma influencing me as a person. And Black, brown, and mixed youth are facing oppression nowadays and being forced to fear their own identities. I had a speech ready to cheer on and encourage oppressed youth, which makes up the entirety of the school. I was told by Mr. Dawson and Miss Imes, there's a time and a place. My speech is too negative, it's too controversial. This school is built on racism, sexism, and homophobia. I encourage everyone here today to stand up for yourself, even if it makes a scene. This school is fucking ridiculous.
You go, Daniel. You go.
So this, I guess, will be a case of fuck around and find out. You say, I'm assuming she was posted without the lady's permission. You know, you don't have to have permission. As long as you're in public, they consider that a public place. Yeah, so she was. This boy came up, was encouraged to give a speech. And he came up with a speech that was going to encourage, you know, the minority students, be it gay, Black, you know, people of color, people, you know, who have dealt with being bullied. He was going to give an uplifting speech to his peers. And they said it's a time and a place. So, yeah. You said hell wrong with him? What's the hell wrong with who? Jatoni, the boy in the store or the boy, the student? I'm going to go ahead. I'm hoping you talk about the boy in the store. Because I feel like the student, you know, shout out to him.
Y'all, I was not expecting this.
Shout out to him for speaking up. That's how I feel about it. The first comment says, as a parent of a student that I withdrew from this exact school, I backed this little man 100%. My son was bullied and they barely did anything. So I withdrew my son. This school is everything he said. Good for him. You know, the kids, you know, are supposed to be seen and not heard. That used to be, you know, what was told to kids. The kids are supposed to be seen and not heard. But we just talked about earlier a 6-year-old boy with an IQ, you know, within the 2% of, you know, and will be headed to college probably by the time he's 10 years old. Wish they stop mixing our struggle with the majority. Jatoni, I'm not putting that up there. I'm gonna give this boy a gold star. I feel like he was speaking on behalf of everybody's struggle, and they tried to stifle him, and he let them have it. So good for him. And you know, I'm not going to end on a note where the teachers are, you know, not doing what they're supposed to do. We're going to end on a note where This lady is out here standing with her students, not the same school, but somebody's mama was out here, doing too much. Oh, and now my internet want to be doing too much. Ain't that something funny? I said we're going to end on a good note. What is that all about? Let's try again. Put the whole thing out there. We made it all the way to the end with no drama. Here come TikTok. Want to act funny. Jatoni, did you do that? Was this you, Jatoni? Were you the one that made this happen because you didn't want everything mixed up? I'm going to blame you, Jatoni. This is all your fault. Now look at what my internet is over here doing. Let's try it again. The speaker tripping just like the rain. Jatoni, I'm going to put you in timeout. Let's see. How annoying. Let's try it again. Nope, it don't want to work. That's crazy. What does that even mean? This one working. Maybe that means I'm just supposed to end on the speech. That's what you get, Jatoni. Just because you was over here throwing off my internet situation. Now we're going to end on the speech. Just can you hear what has Jatoni done now? He was just doing what he always does. You got to smack him on the hand. Got to smack him on the hand because, he knows what to say to get me revved up. I'm not going to do it today. My brain is scrambled. All my revving is gone. So, yeah, y'all, that's it for this Manic Monday. I got to get out of here and go get bottled waters and things because, if y'all missed it, we are under a boil water warning right now. And, yeah, I'll be back later. I'm not going to go live later, but next thing you'll get from me, I'm getting ready to, like I said, go get my groceries and my water and thing. And then I'll be back a little bit later this afternoon with Bell Collective. So if you haven't watched Bell Collective, then go watch it. And if you have watched Bell Collective, then, get down in the comments and tell me, your opinion about the episode this week. Anyway, y'all, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Jatoni, behave yourself.